Welcome to Social 5 University. My name is Jeremiah Stetler, your host, as we talk about the marketer's playbook for Facebook boosting. Today we're going to talk about some of those guidelines that might help you to be more successful in boosting your content, which ones might lead to a rejection that you don't want. So here's our curriculum for today. We're going to talk about what is Facebook boosting, why do we do it? We'll talk about some best practices for effective boost marketing so that you can know what do you post, what don't you post, what's going to be less effective, what's going to be more effective. We'll talk about understanding Facebook's boosting policy, and we won't go over all of them or we'd be here for hours and hours and hours. There's about 30 different categories of restrictions that Facebook has. We'll go over some of the most, what do you call those? The ones that cause the most problems. Then we'll talk about special boosting categories that will affect you if you're in the industries of employment, housing, and finance, and some of the things you need to think about when it comes to targeting your audience. And then lastly, Q&A on digital marketing. And here at Social 5 University, if you're watching this recorded, there's a wealth of information right here on Social 5 University pertaining to all social channels. If you join us for a live session, we have these awesome Q&As. So anyways, let's jump in to an introduction to Facebook boosting. So what in the world is Facebook boosting? And this is where I'm going to go to the dictionary for a moment, and we'll pull a definition of boost. And it's to help or encourage something to increase or improve. Now, when we think about the reasons why we do boosting on Facebook, it's to help pieces of content to increase their performance or to improve their reach by reaching a target audience. Now, if we go back into those long, the long history of social media, and we go back way to 2012, at that time you could post something on your business page, and you could have almost 100% of a content reach, that they would reach your audience without any problem. These days, it's much more difficult. There are lots of competing pieces of content that are going after people's attention, okay? So boosting helps you to put some paid advertising into pieces of content to improve your reach. So here's what it looks like. This is a post that I did on a contest, okay, winning a $100 Amazon shopping spree, okay? This post, if I put it on my business page, would go out to my existing audience. Now, if I had 100 fans, an average of 22 of those fans would see this given post if I'm like the average page across Facebook. But if I want to increase the reach, all that I have to do is click this boost button and apply a paid boost, whether it's $5 or whether it's $50 to this post to have it seen by more people. Now, if we look at that, you can see some of the impacts of boosting right here on this page. Okay, so for instance, you'll notice in light orange is the organic reach, or it's the it's the free reach, or how much viewership you got off of that post just as part of the day-to-day interactions on Facebook. Okay, so this one had 98, and this one had 108, this one had 112. Now take a look at what's happened. I put a boost, I believe this was about $5 behind this post for the contest. So we had 293 people who saw it as part of day-to-day interaction, and we had 287 people who saw that through advertising. So the dark orange reflects what sort of target audience I'm going after. Now, typically those targets could be their age, it could be their gender, zip code, or city. It could be other types of psychographic profiling, like maybe they're part of a certain political party, maybe they are part of the American Dental Association, whatever it happens to be, but this will allow you to target those groups of people. Now, a few things to think about when you're deciding what post should I boost. A few things that to keep in mind. First of all, you need to boost with purpose. What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to build engagement on your Facebook page, which will thereby increase viewership across all posts on your page? It helps you with Facebook's algorithm. Are you trying to drive people to a landing page? Are you trying to capture an email address and perhaps using an app to gather names and email addresses of fans? Are you trying to drive people to a white paper, to your website? think about those things and when you're applying a boost. Next, choose content that has proven performance. You'll notice on that post I showed you a few moments ago that it had a higher organic reach than other pieces of content on the page. That's good. If it has a higher organic viewership, it says it will resonate with people. So apply your boosts to those that have some high organic viewership. Next, select imagery with minimal text, okay? These text overlays will hurt your boosting, okay? So try to go with things that are eye-catching, they generate emotion, but don't have a lot of text overlay. Make sure to abide by Facebook's advertising policies, or you'll find yourself in a world of hurt, not the first time or the second time, but if you are rejected too many times, you can find yourself on Facebook's naughty list. All right, and then favor frequent small boosts over fewer large boosts. So what that means is if you had the choice to boost one post for $50 or 5 posts for $10, always go with the 5 posts for $10, simply because everyone's preferences are a little bit different. What is it what resonates with you may not resonate with me, and vice versa. So this will help you get broader engagement and accomplish your goals better than if you put all of your eggs into one basket, you might say. And then lastly, target the right audience. I had one individual that recently that asked me, can we just buy likes from India or Pakistan? Well, you can, but it's not getting your right audience. So look for those that that could be prospects down the road. Okay. So today we're going to focus most on abiding by Facebook's advertising policies, and there are some of those that you may not think of that could be affecting your performance. So, boosting policies that you should be aware of from Facebook, and I'll throw a few of those up on the board here. There are no illegal products or services, obviously. So if you have an automatic assault rifle that you're trying to advertise on Facebook, it probably isn't going to go too well. But there are a whole bunch of different categories here. No discriminatory practices that discriminate based upon age, gender, sexual orientation. What are some of the other ones? Some are by geography, zip code. No tobacco products, no unsafe supplements or get rich quick business models or payday loans. No selling of body parts. No multi-level marketing. No profanity. So you'll see all of these. No weapons or ammunition. Okay, I guess we can't do our automatic rifle there as it is. But so anyways, you see that there's a ton of these. There are 30 different categories of rules and guidelines that you need to abide by. 30 of them, and under each one, there are a whole bunch of different rules. But maybe the first thing to do is we talk about what can be boostable and what is not. It's important to understand where Facebook is looking. First of all, they're looking at the specific ad or the post that you're putting out there of is your ad compliant with Facebook guidelines. They look at the text, they look at the imagery, they look at the links, but they also take it one step deeper and they look at the landing page that it's going to. So if your destination link is taking them to this landing page, they're going to evaluate for a number of reasons. They're going to look at the type of imagery, they'll look at the text, they'll look at the calls to action, and they'll determine whether or not that destination page also abides by their policies. And there are a few things to think about here. So they'll look and say, is your page functional? Can you pull it up? Does it work? Is it compliant? Does it have non-compliant text or imagery on that landing page? Is it consistent with your ad? On your ad, are you saying, click here to win a free iPad, and you're taking them to a place to sign up for an insurance policy? That would be in violation of Facebook rules. They'll also look to see if you have some automated animation on your landing page or cookies that are automatically installed from your landing page. Those things are violations of Facebook policy and will result in a rejection of your boost or your advertisement. Here are just a few rules that they post on their website. That landing pages must match the product and service promoted in the ad. Landing pages that automatically download files to a personal computer will be banned. Directing people to a closed or secret Facebook group is not allowed. So there are a number of different things that you can see right there on the page that will affect your approval rate through an advertisement. Okay, so that's the first thing to think about. Where are you sending people, and how do you make both the advertisement and the landing page compliant? So let's jump into a few areas that create some challenge. And I put this one on there because there's been a lot of talk about the CBD industry, and those who are promoting CBD on social media are really struggling when it comes to advertising, because there is a rule that says content cannot promote illegal drugs, tobacco, vaping products, drug paraphernalia, or unsafe supplements. Okay, and so if a substance has not been approved, or in the case of CBD, that there still is some debate around the country about whether or not it should be permissible. It is a non-approved advertising category. So you can see 3 ads that were rejected here, and then one that was an anti-smoking campaign. It did pass, okay? But those are things that are not allowed. This one is a little bit less intuitive and leads to a lot of rejections of boosts. Content cannot reference personal attributes or use the word other when describing a personal trait. So take a look at this. Under age, meet seniors is approved, but meet other seniors is not allowed because it references a person's personal trait that they are a senior. And the same is true when it comes to are you overweight? Are you eating too much sugar? Do you live in a bad neighborhood? All these things are referencing a personal attribute would be rejected, okay? But take a look at some of the ways that they overcome that. Meet seniors, a service for teens. We have financial services to cover every financial need. New diabetes treatment available. Whereas, do you have diabetes would be rejected. Keep that in mind. This can sometimes be a trial and error process, but avoid personal attributes. Here is taking that a little bit deeper. Content cannot create negative self-perception related to personal health, diet, or weight loss. Now, we work with a lot of individuals in the healthcare industry, both those in traditional medicine and those with holistic health. And so we talk a lot about ways that people can get themselves in a better state of wellness. Well, take a look at the ones that are approved here. So we have an individual, the camera is zoomed back a little bit here, but this one is compliant. Here's another one that's compliant, that focuses on physical fitness. Another one based upon diet that is compliant. But you can't put your feet on a scale, or you can't use measuring tape, all those things. I've even tried measuring tape without a person in the advertisement. Rejected almost every time, okay? This one where it is referencing, it's zooming in on a person's abdomen there, that is non-compliant, okay? It's also implying that people who are a little overweight, that it's creating a negative self-perception for them. This one zooms in on a body part. Now, this is one we're going to talk about for a moment because it leads to quite a few innocent rejections, okay? We'd say, well, this isn't obscene content, right? Well, it actually does classify as that. Now, anytime you zoom in on a given body part, it does create a rule violation. So take a look here. We're going to jump over to obscenity guidelines, right? Content cannot use seductive imagery, excessive skin, or hyper-focus on specific body parts. You'll see 3 that were rejected here, 1 that was approved, okay? Because this image shows nudity in a statue and is compliant from an artistic standpoint, whereas these other 3 are not. Now, the places where I find that ads get rejected most frequently is, let's say it zooms in on a hand or zooms in on feet or some things where the image is occupied largely by skin, even though it's not a seductive body part, right? So avoid nudity or implied nudity. Avoid excessive visible skin. Avoid images focused on individual body parts, or dating ads where the focus is on a partly clothed model. Those are things you need to look at that can result often in rejections. We see this in yoga quite a bit, okay? Or some retail outlets that sell swimwear. A variety of these things lead to rejections based upon these guidelines. Now, here's one you might not think about. When I was in the newspaper business, this one came up all the time, okay? Content cannot use the name of a company that may constitute a trademark infringement. Take a look at what you see on the screen. What is that? Okay? It's a Kleenex or tissue. Kleenex would be disapproved. That is a trademark name, whereas tissue would make it through. Same is the case with a Frisbee. Same is the case if you use the name of a car like a Toyota or Ford. Anytime that you're using the name of a product or service where there may be a trademark infringement, that can result in the rejection of your ad. Now, let's jump over to one that is relatively new in the boosting sphere. Okay, this comes down to special ad categories related to employment, housing, and financial practices that Facebook has a policy that says ads must not discriminate or encourage discrimination against people based on personal attributes such as race, ethnicity, color, national origin, religion, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, family status, disability, medical, or genetic conditions. This is very important. And if you are in the housing sector where we've seen this has caused significant challenges, particularly when it comes to real estate or mortgage or property management, we need to determine how do you navigate these elements, because when it comes to these three protected categories or three special categories, you'll see them detailed here. Credit opportunities, not including but not limited to credit card offers, auto loans, personal and business loan services, mortgage loans, and long-term financing. Okay, all right, or employment opportunities that could be linked to full-time jobs or internships or professional certifications. And then lastly, housing services about listings for the sale or rental of a home or apartment, homeowners insurance, mortgage loans, housing repairs. All of these things factor into these categories where your targeting capabilities are limited to avoid discrimination based upon age, gender, location. So you'll be able to target people based upon a city or a state. Zip code targeting is not permissible. It was being used to target people also based on socioeconomic status and income availability. But you can target based on city or geography. You can also look at if you're a more sophisticated ad booster, you can go into Ad Manager and you can boost based upon other psychographic profiling traits. These are groups I'm involved in or interests that I have, things that bind people together that may be used in targeting individuals for ads like this that aren't necessarily discriminatory in nature. They're more audience targeting in nature. So if you have any questions about additional rules and regulations, there are a gazillion of them. Well, there's 30 categories with lots of rules. But today we've tried to give you a look at some of the most frequent problems that appear when it comes to advertising policies with Facebook. If you want to know more, go to facebook.com/policies/ads, and it'll give you some great ideas on what you can promote and what you cannot promote. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@social5.com. We also have an awesome amount of information here at university.social5.com. Grateful to have you here today. We are here to help lift and strengthen businesses through innovation, collaboration, and appreciation. Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you soon.